All right. Hello, welcome. It's 12 noon. And welcome to episode number 2 of Real Estate with Raymond. Today we're going to be talking about for sale by owner, or FSBOs. Now, welcome to a Facebook live stream, I guess is what it's called. And here's how this works. I get to the live stream, and you guys can write comments or questions right down here, and I will try and answer them. Now, remember last week, if you tuned in, we kept getting cut off because my phone kept ringing. So this week, turned my phone off, and we're using an iPad. So probably shouldn't have that happen today. If you have any questions during the week, feel free to get a hold of me at Raymond@MyRealU, and that will allow us to, communicate during the week. Don't forget that if you're a licensed agent, you got continuing ed due. It's due by June the 30th, and you can find that right there on the website, myrealu.com. So let's get started today. Talk a little bit about for sale by owners. We're not going to be on here too long. I don't want to waste a lot of time for you guys. I know you're all busy. So let's start out with some cool statistics for you guys out there. One of the statistics that I noticed, hi Brandy, one of the statistics I noticed from the 2014 report from the NAR that said 8% of all homes sold in the United States sold for sale by owner. That's a very small percentage. Only 8% of the homes, according to their 2014, which is the newest report that's out by the NAR. All right? Now, for you guys, agents out there, here's an interesting statistic about that. Of those 8%, 42% of them said that the reason they didn't use an agent was because the commission structure they didn't like. All right? But here's the interesting part. That also means that 58% of them said they were never approached by a realtor to list their house. All right? So what that's telling you is there is a large market of for sale by owners out there that you guys should tap into, because over half of them aren't even being approached by a realtor to list their house. That's according to the 2014 NAR statistic report. Go look it up. Go to the NAR and look that up. It's very interesting. There's a whole bunch of other statistics up there, but that's the one that jumped out. So let's talk a little bit about for sale by owners and what they are. Obviously, a for sale by owner is what we want to call a warm market, all right, or a warm lead, meaning that they want to sell their house, but they're not using you to do it. And why aren't they using you to do it? Well, according to the statistics, over half of them don't even get approached by any real estate agent. So you need to start targeting that market as being your go-to market to start getting some listings, okay? Got a call over the week from a licensed agent that said she wanted to talk about FSBOs because they kind of intimidated her as to how to approach them. All right, so here, let's talk a little bit today about how to approach for sale by owners and what's the big key to them. All right, 42% of the population that sold by owner stated that it was the commission structure that they didn't like for some reason. Either they didn't want to pay it or they couldn't afford to pay it, okay? The rest of the population had some issues. And I think probably one of the things you guys need to think about is all of the ancillary stuff that goes along with selling. Now, you all know, as well as I know, that most people go, well, why do I want to hire a realtor? All you guys do is put a sign in the yard and then you let it go. You guys don't do anything but put a sign in the yard, all right? We know that's crap, all right? You know it, I know it. But the problem is most of the public don't know it. And specifically, your for sale by owners don't know that. So one of the keys I would think to an approaching a for sale by owner is to not necessarily beat them up with, hey, the price, but also all of the other things that they don't understand that you understand, like title work. Have they got title work? Do they understand how to get to title work? Home inspections, appraisals or dealing with the appraiser, The biggest one that I always find is, how the hell are they going to even maintain showings? Most people work during the day. How is an agent going to bring a buyer to your house if they can't get a hold of you for showings? So the accessibility is another item that you guys need to think about when dealing with the for sale by owner. So don't go in and hit them and say, well, I can sell it, because every for sale in the world is going to tell you, hey, I can sell the house. Then you need to also understand and hit all the ancillary parts, okay? I've got good connections with title companies. I've got good connections with appraisers. I've got good connections. That's not a good one. I've got good connections with like centralized showing, so that we can track who comes in your house. We can let them in while you're at work. I can even meet them there if you want. After all, this is my work. So that's probably one of the techniques that you guys want to try and use when dealing with for sale by owner, is hit them with all the other things that they don't even know that they know. All right? Now, one of the other statistics that said in this report was the average home sale price throughout the United States, the median home sale price with a for sale by owner, was $216,000. When using a realtor, it was $239,000. So statistically, we also get a better price. Not only do we get a better price, we get more of a price that even covers our pay. So they can actually use us, pay us, and still make more money, because the numbers are showing that when using a realtor, they make better money than the for sale by owners. All right, so go check that out. Go to the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, look up the 2014 report, and it's going to tell you all these statistics. Okay, now one of the other things you might consider if you're brand new is, we all know that they love expireds. Your boss is going to show you how to chase expireds or put them on your list. But FSBOs are another one. Once again, they are that warm lead because they want to sell. They're just not using you. Typically, one of the things I used to do, and I don't know about society in today's world, was I would literally stop and go up and knock on the door. All right? Knock on the door and go, hey, I'm Raymond Modulin. I'm the managing broker for the Modulin Group. I'd like to talk to you about listing your house. All right? So you physically can go door knocking. One of the other things you might think about is creating a little packet, like in a plastic bag. You know, put a business card, put a free comp certificate, say, hey, I'll give you a free CMA, make that little certificate and put it in there, because we all know we're going to anyway, right? But put that in there, put a little flyer about your company and put it in one of the little bags, and worst case scenarios, hang it on the mailbox. Don't put it in the mailbox. Can't do that, but you can hang it on the little hooky thing, or actually walk up and put it on the doorknob, all right? So you can directly attack them through this method, all right? So you're out driving around and you stop and just pull over and walk up, knock on the door. There's a lot to be said for that aggressiveness. The other good part is that when they answer the door, you say, see how aggressive I am? This is how aggressive I'm going to be, all right? So when dealing with for sale by owners, you've got to always understand that they're not using you for a reason. The report statistically shows that 52% of the time, it's because no realtor ever asked them. So don't automatically assume that you're not going to get it because, oh, that guy's a for sale by owner, I'm not going to bother that. Studies show half of the people aren't even asked. So go ask them. Go knock on the door, send them a flyer, do a door hanger, do anything that you want to do, because half of them aren't even asked. And if you can get just that little bit, that's going to add maybe 4 or 5 deals to your flow a year. And who wouldn't want a couple more deals, all right? Some other items that you deal with for sale by owners, remember that we have this thing called an exclusive agency, which allows the buyer, or the seller rather, misspoke, to actually find the buyer and not pay you. Now, I don't recommend that as being your first choice. But remember, that's always an option, so that when you get to that for sale by owner and you're like, hey, I want to list your house, and I'm going to charge you 7% to do it. And they're like, well, I can do this, I can do this. And you say, okay, I'll tell you what I do. I'll make you a deal. Let's have a race. List with me. Let me put my sign in the yard. If I bring a buyer, you pay me. If you bring a buyer, you don't pay me. The good thing about that is, statistically, you've got a much better chance of bringing them or bringing the buyer than they have of bringing the buyer. What are they going to do? They're going to spend some money to put it in the one ads in the newspaper along with all the other 3 pages, or they're going to stick their little Walmart sign out front with the white with the black letters that says for sale. The only people that see it are the ones going down the street. You know that you've got the MLS, which attacks or goes all over, the Metropolitan Indianapolis Board of Realtors area, which is now the Mid-Indiana Board of Realtors. I think they changed their name. So you've got the ability to show it to literally thousands of people through the MLS. So on an average, I'd say it's a good bet that you're probably going to bring the buyer. So that's called the exclusive agency. That probably is like the last resort. That's almost a placation, so to speak, where you go, okay, if you don't want to list with me, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's have the race, make you a deal. I'll bring the buyer, you pay me. If you bring the buyer, I don't get paid at all. All right? So when dealing with those guys, that might be one of the other concepts that you need to think about, is that exclusive agency. All right, well, we're starting to get some questions and things pop up here. I want to shout out to Steve. I'm preaching it, brother. Have to get you on sometime, Steve, because you're always a good target. No, just kidding. Also, for sale by owners, one of the other things that you can use or help with them is to obviously show them the experience by going in and saying, hey, look, I'm with X company, and we've done so much business. We have so much circulation. We put this in the standing ad in newspapers, or whatever you want to do, so that you can actually show them that you do have the numbers on your side. Because that's probably one of the best ideas that you can use, is to show them that you have the numbers on their side. Now, you are going to run into that person every once in a while that's not using a for sale by owner for one of 2 reasons. One is they're just a butthole and they don't want to use you. All right? And it's not you. It's they just don't want to use an agent. All right? That guy you're going to have to write off. All right? The second reason they're probably not using you is numerically they probably can't. That guy you're going to have to write off. All right? So one of the things you have to be careful of is when you start or engage a for sale by owner, you have to make sure that you understand where they're at in their mindset. Because if they can't use you because, hey, I owe 100, it's worth 100, then you're going to say something to the effect, okay, now I understand. All right? So you want to cut your losses there, and you may ease out of that by saying, hey, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll help you find the value, and next time you buy or sell, just keep me in mind, or tell your brothers and sisters. All right? So we're running up close to my time that I try and cut it off at, because I understand that everybody has got other things to do, and I try and cut this nice and short and sweet. So back to what we started with, I want to remind you that for sale by owners only accounted for 8% of all the homes sold according to the 2014 NAR statistics, all right? But that's not the important one. The important one was 52% of those 8% said they never were approached by a realtor to list their house. All right? Half. That's half of the people out there that are selling their property for sale by owner that want to sell it never got approached by a real estate agent. So you have to understand that that could be a good target for you to open up. All right? Now, I want to remind you guys, I'm going to start doing this every Friday afternoon at 12 noon right here. Come on back. Tell some friends. This week's sponsor, where'd they go? If you guys haven't seen them, it's called Blog Recycle. blogrecycle.com. Check them out. If you guys want to blog, but you don't really want to blog, you can go and buy them. I bought 52 of them, so you can put one out a week and put them on your blog. The cool thing is no byline, so you just make them by you. No copyright. You just buy them, put them out every week. You got 52 blogs, all right? Other than that, get in touch with me during the week. I'm at Raymond@myrealu.com. Raymond@myrealu will get you to me if you've got questions. And don't forget, for you licensed folks, you got continuing ed due in about 60 days. So go to myrealu.com and click. We got live courses coming up and online courses, $69. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, see you around. Bye.